Hey guys, it's people from Chomp Gear here. Yeah, just recapping the rAge Expo that happened this weekend. rAge 2016! Whoop whoop.
The expo happens every October at the Ticketprodrome by Northgate, and we were there for all 3 days checking out what they've got to show. And this year, for the first time, they had a new wing, the blue wing. So they expanded the show, bigger, better, more flashier, more lights, more everything, more noise, more games,
More aircon.
more aircon.
I am a fan of the more aircon.
Yeah, everyone can concur.
So yeah, general feelings on the main expo floor. What did you guys think about the layout and the games that were presented?
The main floor for rAge is just not interesting anymore after being there 7 times.
So what was interesting?
Just the artist alley.
You've only been there 7 times?
I've only been there 3.
I've
Worked
been
there
there about
for-
12.
Yeah, it's about,
Oh yeah, I worked there for 6 years.
this was like, for me, this is like the first rAge in almost 10 years that I've been and I haven't been working the expo. So,
What do you think about the main floor?
like, the thing is, the overall layout of the floors fundamentally never really changed that much. I mean, the configurations of the demos and stuff may shift from, A to B, but, I would say my biggest problem with the convention this year, and probably, I think more this year than last year, is, there just weren't enough specials on for, because the rAge Expos generally, they do decent discounts on games and like special edition games and like computer hardware, that sort of thing.
Yep.
And there was just like none of that this year.
It was a general complaint. I mean, but it's been like that for the past 3 or 4 years.
Well, the thing is, like, it's been sort of steadily declining. Like, and I mean, I at least got 1 or 2 things last year. I got nothing this time.
Yeah,
Except for
no.
the pre-orders.
Yeah, pre-orders don't count.
Yeah, no, a lot of people have complained that in general, they used to go to rAge for the specials or the rare items or whatever, and now it's like you just go there and it's the same thing you see in the store for the same price, if not more. So what's the point, really? So I guess, aside from hardware getting discounts, what about the game reveals? Is that worth it for you?
Well, the Injustice 2 game reveal was quite interesting, and some of the demos were quite a bit of fun, but I think a lot of them were quite badly organized, so a lot of them were just sort of free play. I found that was a big problem for me with the Xbox One stand. So they had a game there that I've been desperate to play called We Happy Few. The problem was it wasn't like a demo of the game, so you started where the last player had kicked off. So I picked up on day 20 of survival mode with no idea of how the controls worked or anything, and died within seconds, and which just didn't actually let me understand how the game worked.
So it kind of spoiled it for you.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing is, the game reveals were great, but like I didn't have a lot of time to look into some of them. But if they were sort of exclusive to the convention, which I know not all of them were, exclusive reveals are fine. But it's the kind of thing where am I going to? I mean, because I was fortunate enough to know people, I could sort of get through the con door without having to shell out any cash. But I mean, for most people, they're like, am I going to pay $120 to go look, and not touch, not buy?
So I guess what it is, we'd like to see
Just
more
expensive,
specials, and we'd like
ex-
to see exclusive game reveals.
Because otherwise, it's just expensive window shopping.
But, speaking of specials, though, for me, the only day that actually had specials was a Sunday, and that was probably mostly because vendors just didn't want to take all their merch back.
Yep.
Groups like Dark Carnival and T-Shirt Terrorists dropped their prices hectically. I mean,
We did pick up some good shirts on the Sunday.
Exactly, and I picked up a graphic novel from Dark Carnival, and yeah, they just dropped all their prices down. So if you're going for specials, I suppose my advice is go on Sunday.
Yeah. You can maybe bargain and negotiate.
I think it was the year before last. I picked up StarCraft 2, the Heart of the Swarm collector's box, and then the Xbox 360 collector's box for Far Cry 3. I picked those both up, I think, for about 550 Rand. I mean,
Each or together?
No, together.
Nice.
And they're like, no, just wait, get the specials on the Sunday. I'm like, yeah, but all the good shit's gone on by the time you get to Sunday.
That's sort of the thing as well. Yeah, like you can wait for Sunday, but the chances are the thing you want is not going to be available anymore.
Yeah, because I mean, the special edition stuff usually clears out by lunchtime on Friday.
Yep. Well, What about they had the esports and they had the official tournaments. There's the type of stuff you guys are interested in. What do you think about
didn't really
that?
have time to actually go and watch, but yeah.
There was some of the the Call of Duty stuff, that sort of thing, you know, it's cool. But like I think we'd covered like the other guys trying to do esports, which was sort of more the smaller sort of app type games, which to be honest I really couldn't give two shits about. I mean, sure, people are able to make money off that. That's fine and well. I've got no issue with that. But it's not really a spectator sport. In like 9 times out of 10.
Well, Dota 2, I'm a big fan, and I wish I could have watched more of that.
It always looks really funny when you see all those dudes in that big plastic, like the sort of big
Like
plastic.
looks like a glass cage.
Yeah, like I just feel like they need to put up signs that don't feed the gamers, but they do take donations.
Yeah.
I think they should put signs like that up around the LAN cage as well.
Yes. What did you think about the LAN this year?
The LAN seems like it's. I mean, I didn't look at it with too much intensity because 9 times out of 10 I just get stuff I want from I stream it or whatever. So LANing lost a lot of its appeal in that way for me. But like it seems like the LAN has diminished a bit. In terms of just sheer volume of people attending.
And smell.
Well, we had a look at the LAN from above, and there were a lot of seats that were empty. This was on the Saturday during the day, so either they decided to take the day off or I don't know what, but
because usually the LAN is they rock up on the Friday and then they don't leave till the Sunday, and you can smell that. You can smell that dedication.
No, a lot of empty seats, and what I do know is that the LAN tickets sold out in like 4 minutes.
That's what I was going to say.
And then there were still people were selling the tickets online for like stupid prices, which was illegal. And
What, scalping?
Yeah, they clamped down on that, so it was sorted out. But considering it sold out in 4 minutes, and they made it bigger to accommodate more LANers, and they upped the internet because apparently there was a problem, the line went down last year or something.
Because there's always odd guys who did the Icon Wi-Fi, which was supposed to be general access for, not just exhibitors, but for con goers. The Wi-Fi didn't seem as good this time around than when it was at the Icon convention.
Well, what I want to say about the LAN is despite all those things that they've improved, nobody was sitting at there like as if they didn't want to be there. So it was kind of strange. But as for the always on Wi-Fi, we were under the impression there would be free Wi-Fi, but that's not the case. Always on was there, but you had to buy a premium package starting from 1 gig upwards. So that to me was a little bit scaly because it's like, so you're advertising, but I've got to give you money, and then I can't even buy a few hundred megs. I have to buy a gig or more.
I suppose it's like things, when the games come out with that 1 month free trial. It's like you can have your 1 month after you've signed up and given us money.
Well, we see these practices everywhere. You pay your $60 for your AAA game, and then you have to buy the DLC, which is to activate the blood and gore. Buy the DLC, which is the 3 extra races, which all should have just been in the game. It's just being pure greed grabs now.
They could have offered like a complimentary 50 megs or something to people who were there. But so that, I didn't appreciate that. I know it's business and whatever, and they were sponsoring a lot of, I saw the always on banners, so they were sponsoring a lot of things. It just would have been a nice appeal, because a lot of people asked about the Wi-Fi, and it's like, sorry, you have to pay. And that was like a bit of a downer.
It is kind of ridiculous.
I mean, even if it was locked to just the exhibitors, because the exhibitors have paid quite a lot to be there.
Exactly, like they could have had a special exhibitor password. I mean, they can't trust the exhibitors won't give out the password, but some kind of incentive or whatever.
I can understand not giving free Wi-Fi to just the general public. That makes sense, I guess.
So moving on to the new wing, it's called the Blue Wing. It's a new extension onto rAge. It used to be the club that's attached to rAge, and now they've basically revamped it and added it on.
The club was attached
to the dome. Sorry, yes. And
the dome rAge.
So now it's basically a big new hall, and that played host to all the geek stuff. So it's all the smaller stalls, the flea market, the artist alley, and the cosplay. They also included a cosplay stage, which was used for the cosplay contest and various panels and talks. And the general feedback from my side at least was a lot of people were impressed and happy and very grateful for the new wing, specifically for this particular, for the geeks, because it's really difficult to cosplay or to try and, sketch and do your artwork if you're sitting in the main hall where there's noise and crowds and poor lighting.
I did see some signs up there's like this cosplay safe zone.
Yes.
Like, are the cosplays being accosted at other areas of the convention?
Yeah.
Yes, every year there's issues, and there's this big fight between cosplayers and convention goers, where cosplayers feel convention goers need to be educated about cosplay, do not touch, ask permission, etc., etc. But at the same time, cosplayers need to be educated that these are convention goers, and we cannot control them. People are free to do as they please. So what they did is they tried to create a safe zone in the Blue Wing, so that people are more cosplay aware, and to ask, be polite, and etc., etc. And the cosplayers were pretty grateful for that, as far as I know. It seemed to have worked.
Yeah,
And-
they had like a little exclusive area behind the stage.
Yes, they did. They had their own little
Was
area
that
where,
what was going on behind
yes, it was like a chill area where they could hang out and not be bothered by people. And there was a repair station, because what happens in the main hall is a lot of those more,
bulky
you know,
costumes?
Yes.
Elaborate.
yes, they get damaged. People bump into them and stuff like that. And they're entering a contest, so if they get damaged, they need to repair it so they can get judged. So, we do understand, but from both sides need to be educated. I don't think it's just the one side that needs to be educated. And I think it worked out. I haven't heard really much about that.
Yeah, I must say, I definitely think it's wrong for cosplayers to put the burden of other people harassing them on anyone other than the harasser.
Yeah.
But seriously, people do just need to know if just because someone's wearing cosplay does not mean you can touch them or.
Yeah.
Yeah. People still people.
Yep. But it's up to the cosplay community to educate, and they also need to be aware that if you're going to cosplay, you're putting yourself out there. You're going to be in the spotlight. And if you can't handle that, then don't cosplay, because that's what it's about, really. People are going to look at you, and they're going to want to have photos taken. And
The looking at the photos I have no issue with. It's more the random strangers touching me without, or touching anyone.
yeah,
I mean,
that's definitely
being grabbed inappropriately. I mean, I didn't.
Talk about grabbing inappropriately. The guy who was doing the Deadpool with the obligatory ass grabs, I feel I owe you an apology.
Did you grab?
A grab, it was a hop, skip, and a jump away from a prostate check. Not what I was going for, and I am really sorry.
Accidents happen.
But the point-
The rest of the story.
But we'll get to that in a second. The point is, yes, you get women in revealing costumes, but we didn't design those costumes. The artist who designed the character did, and if we'd made them less revealing, you would have complained. There would have been complaints that we weren't being true to the costume.
Yeah, you want to be true to the
So-
costume, and like you say, a lot of them are very revealing and designed for male
Oh,
audiences.
I'm just going to butt in for 1 second. What?
But
One thing that bothers me with the sort of cosplay slash certain, well, not the whole culture, but certain parts of the cosplay slash nerd culture is this idea that only certain body types should be, air quotes, permitted to, wear certain costumes that, like, are you being true to your character? Because, like, take Wolverine, for example, he's often depicted as being much taller when, originally he's about, like, 5 foot nothing. Hairy as, all hell, and, built like a tank. And the average person is not built like that. I feel if you identify with a character, short of being majorly politically incorrect, you should be able to cosplay as that character because,
Yeah, that is definitely one of the arguments going around at the moment on social media, and it's about promoting cosplay what you want. It's, regardless of your skin color,
I mean, with the exception of things like
your
blackface,
size,
which
or
are
anything,
inappropriate
just
for other reasons, but
yeah.
But yeah, skin color shouldn't even be an issue. I saw Dante being cosplayed by an Indian guy.
are we talking about Dante from Devil May Cry?
Yes, from Devil May Cry, and he didn't try and make himself white. He just
Yeah,
he just did an
character.
That's
awesome
perfect.
costume.
Yes.
Basically-
Awesome costume.
draw the line at blackface.
Yeah.
But also, okay, you get people like me. I am, as some of you have seen my videos, of the larger size. I'm not built like the majority of comic book characters. That's not going to stop me dressing as them. So, sorry if you don't want to see these lumpy thighs, but you're gonna.
Yeah, no, we support cosplay. It's you are the fan. This is for you. If you enjoy it, do it. Cosplay whatever you want, and just go for it. Don't just go for it. Yeah.
Gotcha. But anyway, just backtracking a bit to my original point. When dealing with cosplays, if you wouldn't do it to a stranger in the street, don't do it to someone in a costume. If you wouldn't walk up to a stranger in the street and grab their ass, don't do it to a cosplayer. And if you would walk up to a stranger and grab them
What
by the
the
ass,
hell is wrong with you?
Exactly. You need to sort out your priorities.
Definitely.
So, like, just with, like, sort of YouTube videos I've seen and just, like, articles and stuff I've read, a lot of, women cosplayers who've gone, like, from the convention to sort of more real-life events, or, and I know the convention is a real-life event, but, like, if you rocked up and say,
Vampirella.
okay, yeah, Vampirella, that's actually a very good like, the thing is, if you rocked up if you went straight to the con dressed as Vampirella, yeah, I'm not going to say you wouldn't get the jackasses who would want to try cop a feel, because, that happens. But my point is, at a con, the guys were like, oh, Vampirella.
Yep.
At the supermarket, they'd be like, what?
Do we run and hide, or...
Like, a lot of these women, they've said they've gotten better treatment from, I mean, at the cons from people than, from people in real life. And, I just mean because on the plus side to the nerd culture, I mean, we're often perceived as being, sort of not knowing how to interact with, people on the whole.
I must say, I think that's one difference between South African nerd culture and other countries. From what I can gather, because there's not as many of us here as there are overseas, we never really had that sort of sense of isolation that would have happened in, say, America in the 1970s, which sort of ended up with exclusion.
I suppose it is a much more of a everybody knows everybody kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people I only see once a year at whatever convention I happen to be at.
I mean, while, yes, the whole, oh, you're just faking it for attention thing does exist here, I think it might be slightly less here.
Well, let's move on.
Yeah. Do you guys get to try any games this convention?
Unfortunately, we weren't able to really explore the floor. Pretty much stuck in the Blue Wing. I did have a look around and stuff. So I guess I'll be a little biased when I say that the Blue Wing for me was so far the highlight, because yes, I like the new games, the new releases and stuff, but it's just not enough draw card for me. The draw card for me is I want to see all the geeky stuff. I want to see the figurines. I want to see the t-shirts. I want to see, what people can come up with in the artist alley. I mean, the new products they brought out, these people that they make, the crafts, the cutest little dragons, handmade, and, and the art, the level of art was just been amazing. And the amount of people that came out and supported was just great. And then because we had the stage, the panels, some of the artists got to talk about their craft, how they got into the business, and it was quite well received. And I think moving forward, that's definitely going to be a new highlight from now onwards, because that wasn't a possibility previously.
No, absolutely. I'm actually with you. The artist alley is normally a highlight for me. At any con, it's probably where I end up spending the most of my money. Partially because, as you said, the community that gathers there, some of them know me, and they know that they can guilt me into buying their stuff. But
but like,
even if I had a chance to go to the main floor, I wouldn't have, because I'm just too familiar with it by now, and it just doesn't draw me anymore.
It's just the few times we did go through there just to get to the office or whatever, we had to pass the floor. I didn't feel the need to go and explore. Like nothing
didn't draw you in.
Nothing drew me in. It looked impressive. They had the way they built the stands this year looked pretty impressive. The lighting was done nice. The stands were built very nicely.
I'll say the Xbox
nice.
One. The Xbox One stand could probably have dialed down the green strobe lights just a bit. Sometimes when you're walking through you felt like a vampire out of the Nosferatu movie. Be like, melting.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. The lighting in some parts was amazing, and other parts gave me a headache.
But I'd say that what I did see this weekend that I really enjoyed. I got to see the exclusive, intros for Dishonored 2, which I was a big fan of the first game. So I'll say I wasn't very good at the first game. And then Horizon Zero Dawn, which I don't think I'll be playing because I don't have a PS4.
Which is a very weird title.
Yeah. It's like Robo Dinosaurs and...
But it doesn't make it... Never mind.
The
Horizon
title does
Zero
not
Dawn,
match
it's
the
like
game.
like those 3 words don't form any kind of picture or
But
sentence.
it's one of those
It's
things where I think just roll with it. It's best not to overthink it.
It's what I like to call dartboard naming.
But like the exclusive previews for that was nice, and then like Jess said, the Injustice 2 preview, you know, I like it. Didn't really show you like the story sort of board for the game, like, but it did, you know, show you enough of the gameplay that, you know, the what it showed you in gameplay was more than enough to sell it for me.
What do you think of the new Tomb Raider?
Oh, I loved it.
I was not very good at it. I kept getting killed, but I did like it.
And was this an exclusive release or?
No, I think it might be how it was initially, because this is the 20th anniversary edition.
Okay.
Because what happened initially was it was released on Xbox first, so you know they had a sort of it wasn't an exclusive platform release, but Xbox One got it before everybody else. Like Sony and PC got it later. I got to try the new Hitman, which I was horrendous at. Though mind you, I wasn't very good at Absolution. I'd say probably I got to try Gears of War 4, you know, play the sort of horde mode. Like, while I love Gears of War, I felt like Gears of War 4 was sort of just polished Gears of War 3. You know, I was like, you guys are going to want to charge me almost $1,000 for
To
a
be
title.
fair, how far can that IP still go? It feels like it's done everything it could.
Yeah, but to be honest, I was like, why are you making another one? You know, 3 had a fairly conclusive ending.
Well, the IP got sold. Epic isn't making it anymore.
Oh, who's
It's
making
actually Microsoft making it now.
Oh, that's something new every day. But I'd say, like, I didn't get to try some of the Lego platforms. I wanted, like, Lego Dimensions, and also there was the new Skyland. But otherwise, I got to try it.
The thing is, rAge feeds on that hype culture that the game industry creates. And I refuse to get involved in hype culture. That's why rAge isn't as big of a highlight for me as it is for other people.
Well, mostly it's just like things like when Tomb Raider, not the newest, like, you know, it's sort of first major revamp. Like when Lara's, you know, what was it called again?
The more human, less busty one.
Yeah.
When they did that, yeah.
Sorry, I can't.
Can actually see her feet when she looks down, sort of thing.
Like, I played the demo for that at rAge that year. And what I loved about it, that's like, it gave me enough taste of the gameplay to see what I was putting my money down on.
Okay.
Because, you know, like, sometimes you get a bit nervous when you pre-order stuff which is basically a blind
Which is
buy.
why I never pre-order.
The thing is, while I get for me, my favorite demo was actually the South Park game, Fractured But Whole. Took me a while to actually get that joke, I'm ashamed to say. Because, for me personally, my favorite thing about games is story mode, and the South Park game actually gave me a taste of the story mode, whereas everything else was just gameplay, which is great, but I want to know that I'm going to get invested in the story and with the characters.
We also got to try that other game you and I, For Honor.
Yeah, that was actually quite a lot of fun as well.
But For Honor, it's like sort of medieval Vikings and sort of European knights and like samurai. We only got to try the sort of multiplayer map where you sort of run around and shellac the hell out of each other. But
It's still fun.
Which is
We
all
nearly
the industry is
won,
really
and then we
focusing on at this
Yeah.
point.
I was about to say, yeah, a lot of the game's storyline seems to be coming second to just about everything else. It definitely looks like it's going to be a game to watch. You know, it's not my overall rating, but you know, it definitely looks like it's going to be fun.
Speaking of ratings, how would you rate this year's Expo?
Not as good as last year's.
I wasn't at last year's, so...
I'd say the Blue Wing is a significant, you know, because the Artist Alley last year was a lot more crowded, you know, having to compete with just a regular convention. I'd say the Blue Wing, in terms of, you know, cosplayers and stuff, it's a great addition to the convention.
So, score out of 10?
6.5, I guess.
You?
7.
You?
Well, if it wasn't for the Blue Wing, I would have said it was just average. But because of the Blue Wing, it ended up being one of the more enjoyable rages. So, Chewbacca out of Assassin's Creed.
I feel like I need to throw something at you.
From my warped perspective, because I was mostly in the Blue Wing, I would give it a 7 to 8 out of 10. Because I think they are improving. They're finally seeing the value of the geeks and what they want. So I think it can move forward and can definitely get bigger and better. So I think that's it. So thanks for listening.
Check out our Icon podcast.
Yes, we have an Icon podcast from earlier this year. Also, please like and subscribe and support us, because the more you support us, the more videos and podcasts we can do.
Yeah, watch the rest of our videos as well on YouTube. Anyway, this is the folks here at Chomp Gear signing out. Wishing the rest of you guys a pleasant, whatever it is you regular people have.
Till next time, bye.